Hello, and welcome to Marketing Solutions for Local Businesses, the podcast where you will discover all the latest and greatest digital marketing tools, tips, and strategies you will need to implement in order to stay ahead of your competition. If you are not getting the results you are looking for from your digital marketing efforts, this is the podcast for you. And now, here's the host of our show, the local business guy himself, Frank Deming.
Hello, everyone. And this is Frank Deming, the local business guy. And I want to welcome you to Marketing Solutions for Local Businesses. This is episode 41. And first of all, happy Friday. I can't believe we're already in mid-September. We're in I think it was the third Friday of September already, I think. And it's amazing. So it's definitely a fast-moving year, and even though we've had a crazy year with this pandemic, it's still fast-moving. So there you go. And I know for many of you, it can't move fast enough, right? Hey, you just got to take the good with the bad, folks. All right, today I have a special content topic for you today. And it all comes from the famous phrase that the well-known Bill Gates made a few years ago, and that is content is king. I know if you've heard of it. And while other new marketing techniques may have your attention right now, like the paid ads and all that stuff, or social media, etc., content marketing is still a huge player when it comes to bringing in customers and establishing credibility in your industry. And today, I am going to be talking to you about 6 reasons to include content marketing in your strategy. Before I get to the 6 reasons, though, I do want to do a couple of housekeeping things. Number 1, if you want to be a guest on our show, simply just pick up the phone, give us a call, 888-416-7752, or you can email us at info@lbmsllc.com and let us know that you want to be a guest. You let us know the topic you want to discuss, and we'll put you on the schedule. The other thing that I want to point out, if you have a topic that you want us to cover, maybe you've been struggling with some things, and maybe we haven't covered it already, or maybe we did cover it, but you want an expansion of what we've been discussing, I want you to take that same process. Call us, 888-416-7752, or email us at info@lbmsllc.com. Let us know what that topic is. Let us know what you're struggling with. And we will make sure to add that in one of our episodes. And if you don't mind us putting your name out on air, also let us know that, please. Because I've had a couple of people come out and they'll say, yeah, can you put this topic on? And then when I email them and say, hey guys, what's your name? Do you want to put on? I get crickets, which is fine. But I'm asking you if you want, I'll call your name out and just say, hey, this person asked about this question. This episode's for you, my friend. Anywho, last housekeeping item that I have to cover is this. If you have been inspiring to start your own podcast, I want you to take a look at the tool I use, which is Buzzsprout. Buzzsprout is awesome. It's a podcasting host that gives you all of the tools necessary to distribute all of your content evenly to all of the major podcast players: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, etc., etc. I mean, I like them all. My favorite is Stitcher, so they put it there as well. But the big players are Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts and Spotify, and they have it there as well. So as long as you have it on those three, the others that are added to it just comes secondary. But the fact that they give you a great tool to do it is a plus. Not only that, they've helped over 100,000 people start, promote, and successfully launch a podcast. So if you're thinking about doing a podcast, or you're thinking about switching podcast hosts, give Buzzsprout a shout. I mean, I have a link on the show notes. Click on that link. When you do, you actually start to give it a test. Buzzsprout's going to send you a $25 gift card or gift certificate, from Amazon, just as a thank you for trying them out. And it's also going to let Buzzsprout know that we sent you. So if you're thinking about of hosting your own podcast, Buzzsprout is the easiest and simplest way to start a podcast. All right, so now that we got that out of the way, I want to talk to you again, like I said earlier, about 6 reasons to include content marketing in your strategy. Okay, it's very, very important that we start doing this. The number one reason you want to start doing some content marketing in your marketing strategy is you want to build trust and credibility. See, content such as blog articles, podcasts like this, case studies, interviews. Those things allow you to show off your expertise in your niche, and it also helps your potential customers at the same time. So that's the kind of content I'm talking about. Blog posts, any kind of articles that you maybe you've been asked to write an article on a third party blog, or maybe even a directory or such. Like I said, a podcast. Another thing that I failed to mention earlier is also vlogs, which are video blogs. That's a huge hit these days in terms of content marketing. And a highly underutilized practice I mentioned earlier was case studies. A lot of times we tend to not have a lot of case studies out there. We want to do that. And even interviews. Interviews are great because interviews, if you're interviewing an expert, if you're being interviewed, you want to promote that content to your list, and whoever's interviewing you want them to promote that content to their list. So that's a form. So content marketing is going to help you not only build your credibility as an expert, but it will also help you build trust with your audience, which is an essential thing for brand loyalty. That's very essential, very key. Remember, people buy from people that they know, like, and trust. And I find in my years of marketing that content marketing has been able to do it behind the scenes, has been able to help me build that rapport with my customers without them even talking to me. And I push out so much content that when they do pick up the phone and call me, it's like they already know me. Okay. Through my blogs or through my podcasts, etc. Through my newsletter. It's another form of content marketing that we didn't, that I failed to list earlier. But you got to make a list of the problems or the pain points that your target audience experiences and develop content that helps them find solutions. That is the key. So let's back up a little bit. When you're doing content marketing, you just can't push out content to push out content. You can't say to yourself, oh, okay, I think this month I'm going to talk about this. I'm going to write about this stuff. Or I want to write about, I want to write something about COVID and try to force fit it into my content because COVID is a hot topic. That's doomed for failure. You do that and you're going to fail. So you want to make a list of the problems and the pain points that your target audience is experiencing. That is the key to having a successful content marketing marketing strategy. Because if you identify that, and you should know, because you're in business, you see what your customers are complaining about most. If you see a common topic coming up all the time, chances are lots of others are having that same issue, irrespective of what business you're in. I don't know what business you're in right now, but irrespective of that, you have to understand, see patterns. What are people talking about? What are people concerned about? What are their pain points? Identify those pain points and give them solutions on your content. Simple, simple, simple. Now, another thing with, building trust and credibility, you don't want to use your content to sell. And I know a lot of people say, well, Frank, that's counterintuitive. No, it's not. Remember, we're using content marketing to build trust and credibility. That's the number one thing. That's the reason why I put this number one, because it's the critical piece. Trust and credibility. Okay? If you're putting out content just to sell, you're not using that form of marketing correctly. Okay? The purpose of content marketing, once again, is to help customers and establish your brand, which will lead to organic sales eventually. That's the key. See, it's a slower process than the other stuff that we talk about. We talk about display marketing, any kind of paid ads. It's a fast way of getting noticed. But when you talk about content marketing, we're not talking about the fastest thing in the world, but it does build trust and credibility. Okay, enough of that. So I want to move on to number 2. Number 2 is build brand awareness. Think about it. Do people know about your products or services? Do you have a reputation in your niche? Okay, so you have to ask these questions to yourself, because those 2 questions can easily be answered with content marketing. See, when people land on your website, your blogs, etc., your video blogs, wherever you're sending traffic to, they go there for answers. And they go there to find solutions. See, you can increase brand awareness organically just by using this. You just want to use content to showcase your expertise. You already know their pain points. You're answering it with your content. And as I said earlier, and that's going to organically increase traffic to your website. It just when you're doing it consistently, it increases traffic to your website, but it's also building your brand. It's all about brand awareness. It's all about when they see that logo or they see the colors or they see whatever, they automatically have a connection with what you do. But it's all about consistency, though. So number 2, brand awareness. You're building brand awareness, is all about consistency. You cannot build brand awareness by doing things half-assed. I mean, there's no other way of me saying that, folks. You cannot build brand awareness by not being consistent. When you set out a goal to do X, Y, Z and deliver a certain amount of content on certain days of the week, certain days of the month, you have to maintain that consistency So that way your brand is consistent. I'm going to give you an example of this. Target, Nike, those guys are consistent. And you know, I know those are huge brands, but hear me out on this. We have to be able to model after what the big brands do, but at a lesser cost. So we're doing this electronically. I'm not doing mailers like Target does or doing all these huge TV commercials like Nike does. No. But what they're doing at a larger scale, obviously, is brand awareness. That's what they're doing. So we have to do the same thing, but using the platforms that we talk about here, social media, video, you know, whatever we want to use, you know, that's going to cost us a lot less money, but bring us similar results at that scale. Okay. So that's number 2, brand awareness and consistency. Number 3, you want to get more leads and keep more customers. That's the power of content marketing. Okay, let me give you a couple, before I even get into drilling into this stuff, I want to tell you something that's overarching, and this is the truth that I have witnessed in my own business and in my customers' businesses. We typically launch a paid ad and some sort of SEO or content marketing strategy simultaneously. And of course, the paid ads just go through the roof and they kick butt right away, start getting the client's customers. But in the meantime, we're building up the credibility of the client with other more meaningful customers. What I've noticed, and I've gotten this from so many clients of mine who have been with us for years, that after a while they can actually turn off the ads unless they have a special going that they want to really go and promote hard, because they've built such credibility and rapport with the loyal customers that they have, that it's already feeding the train, if you will. So that's the power of content marketing. So it's all about generating leads, right? I mean, I talked to you about, brand awareness. I talked to you about building trust. But when you do brand awareness and you build trust, you eventually will generate leads. And these leads are highly qualified leads. These leads, if you're doing content marketing correctly, these leads are willing to pay top dollar almost all the time. When you get paid ads leads, it's not all the time they're going to pay the top dollar. They're not always going to get for your top service. So keep that in mind, okay? That's a very important factor that I have witnessed, not just in my business, like I said, also my clients' businesses. So this is something that's proven. See, content marketing allows you to reach a pool of customers, okay, who basically would not have engaged with your brand otherwise. If you didn't put your stuff out there, if you didn't answer questions to the pain points that they're having, you wouldn't have connect with them, because these type of customers that are looking for content, they're educating themselves first. And if you give them the answer, that's it. You got them hooked. Okay. So when you got to remember, when you provide relevant and timely and helpful content, you draw in new leads, period. So you got to keep that in mind. So the content it also keeps customers coming back for more. Like I said before, it's I've seen it time and time again. I don't want to keep repeating myself, but I've just seen it so often that that this is a proven thing, which is why Bill Gates said content is king. I mean, come on, Bill Gates said this, guys, not me. Bill Gates. Because people are more likely to return to the resource that helped them in the past. that is something that's happening over and over again. And then see, once they begin to depend on you to provide them with the content as the expert in your field, your customers will think of you when they have a need to, and basically, just go to you. They don't even, because you've built brand awareness and because you have that trust, they don't even think about anybody else. And that's when the leads come. Anyway, enough of that. I get excited about that because a short story before I go to number 4. The first time I got a lead from a content piece that I wrote, and I was not the greatest writer in the world back then. Now I'm pretty good. I create content, very simply now. But back then I wasn't. So it took me about a year and a half to actually generate a lead from a content piece that I got. The first time I got it, it was such a joyful thing. This is why I'm harping so much on number 3. Because it was such a joyful thing, like, wow. And I got to tell you, it was the smoothest discussion I've ever had. This person had been following me for a while. And then when they needed something that I was providing, they gave me a call or filled out a form. I can't remember how the lead was generated, whether it was a phone call or if it was a form fill. But irrespective of that, it was a lead. And it was such a smooth transition that I said, wow, I would like more of these, please. And I asked and I received more of them. And they just kept coming a little bit more frequently and until to the point now that it's just a self-running engine without me feeding it much. So that's a beautiful thing. So anyway, let me move over to number 4. You see, with content marketing, you rank higher in searches. Your content affords you the opportunity to weave in keywords. This is the key thing. And even with videos, okay? I think I did a podcast earlier about video marketing last month. Video SEO, excuse me. I would encourage you to check that out in case you're thinking that this is only for blogs. You can do this with video SEO as well. So you want to weave in keywords that will help you rank higher in the searches of the search engines. Okay, the more you post relevant content, the higher your authority, and that means that more traffic to your website. Period. And I've talked about that a plethora of times on other episodes on how to weave that in. So here's the thing that we all know. That once you're in the first page with content marketing, once you're in the first page with content marketing, it tends to stick there higher. Especially if you're feeding consistent content with that keyword. So let's say you created, you've done your keyword research and you're good to go. Right now, once you're good to go, you focus on that keyword and produce several content pieces of that keyword. Guys, you're there forever. You're there forever. You're there high. You're there long. It's a beautiful thing. Okay. So if you post quality content, back to that, the other businesses will want to link to your website. This is another thing that I've seen. And you're going to get backlinks back to your website. And you're going to get people approaching you about a backlink. And that's it just happens. It happens. You'll start getting contacts, okay, and backlinks is a big thing. Is a significant part of your content marketing because it helps boost your ranking higher. Okay, it just helps it. And I don't have time right now to go into the importance of backlinks and what backlinks are. I had an episode that specifically talked about backlinks. You may want to look that up in a directory here. But that's a huge factor too. But that's number 4. It helps you rank higher in searches when you do it consistently, basically. Number 5, you want to you attract your target customer. The purpose of content marketing is to attract leads, period. But here's the key. You don't want to attract the unqualified leads. Okay? People who will never result in a phone call or a sale. I mean, not a phone call, but people who will never result in a sale. You know, you don't want the people like, oh, that's nice to know. You don't want people like that. You want people to read your content and take action. And if you do your keyword research right and identify their pain points correctly, that's going to happen. So basically, you want to attract your target customer, your ideal buyer, which is the key. So you don't waste time with people who are uninterested. So people always ask me, well, how does content marketing bring in the ideal customer, Frank? You know, because you say that a lot, but you've never said how. Well, I'm going to tell you how now. I mean, I've said how usually when people connect with me, you know, one-to-one, because I can give you specifics based on your industry. But let me give you some generic stuff. Simply put, only those who are interested in your industry will search out your content, period. And only those who search out your content will click your call to actions and end up perusing your landing page or whatever it is that you lead them to. Okay, that sends them to your services. See, this means that quality leads will be considering, working with you or purchasing from you. And that's how that works. When you have someone jumping through a hoop to do all of this, they read your content or watch a video or listen to your podcast or whatever, go all the way to the end, and then when they indulge in your call to actions, those are quality leads, a lot more quality than searching, from display ads. It's just something that I've noticed. All right, number 6, last but not least, you want to get people marketing for you. Now, this is a huge power of content marketing that I love. When your content is actually valuable, and I know you're going to write valuable content, right? You're going to provide valuable information because you've got to do your research. You're going to know the pain points of your ideal customers, and you're going to write about it and give them solutions, right? When you do that with relevant content that solves a problem, you definitely can expect that people are going to want to share it to benefit others in their social circles. It works like that. It just does. It happens organically. And when that happens, there's almost no limit to how many people can actually stumble upon your content in their own feeds. Here's the thing I want you to make sure of, that when you create your content, you do so with purpose. Okay, and what I mean by purpose is you've done your research. You know that there's a pain point. The purpose is to actually address the issue that your target market is having, a vast majority. See, because people won't share your content that didn't help them. So make sure that the purpose is to help them and it addresses that need. Because once that happens, they're going to share it. It just happens. Okay? So before I bid farewell to you fine folks, I just want to go over the 6 reasons to include content marketing. into your strategy. Number one, you want to because it's going to build trust and credibility. Okay. And that's a known fact. Number two, you want to build brand awareness, but we're going to do it real smooth. Number three, you want to get more leads and keep more customers. It just happens. You're going to start getting leads, and those customers will actually stick with you a lot longer because they've been with you in the long run. Number four, you rank higher in searches. You just do. When you do it consistently, it's just automatically just ranking tremendously because the search engines will reward you for your hard work. Number five, you attract your target customer consistently because, again, they're jumping through hoops to get to you. You're providing the stuff that helps them, and all of a sudden, boom, you are attracting them because you're giving them what they're asking for. And number six, last but not least, you want to get people marketing for you. It does happen organically. You don't even have to ask anyone. That's the beauty of number six. You don't even have to ask anyone. If you are providing the right content to your target audience, they will automatically share it. Okay? So, it's time to create more content. There's no time like the present, folks. You want to start creating and posting quality content right now. And you want to add content marketing as your strategy and welcome those wonderful organic leads. All right, folks. I hope you enjoyed this content that I just provided for you today. More importantly, I hope you take action and start utilizing this. If you have any questions about this, because I know, it's not that hard. It's definitely not that hard. But if you haven't done it, you probably will need a little, some hand holding, and we're here for that. Okay. You know how to reach us. So, just if you're having trouble with this, reach out to us anytime. We'll be happy to help. So until next week, you guys have a super duper great weekend. I'm going to bid farewell to this episode. Until next week, folks, take care and bye for now. Peace out.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Marketing Solutions for Local Businesses, the podcast where you will discover all the latest and greatest digital marketing tools, tips, and strategies you will need to implement in order to stay ahead of your competition. Don't forget, any links that were mentioned during the broadcast will be available to you in the show notes, so be sure to grab them while you have the chance. Incidentally, if you have any topics that you would like for us to discuss on the show, be sure to send an email to the email provided in the show notes, or click the Contact Us link and let us know what topic you would like us to help you with, and we'll be sure to add it to our schedule. If you would like for Frank and his team to look at your digital marketing presence and give you a free evaluation, simply click the Request a Free Consultation link in the show notes to get a hold of them. That being said, until our next episode, make it a successful digital marketing day. Peace out.